Thank you very much, Honourable Prime Minister Modi, colleagues, ministerial colleagues, dear friends, Premier Mo, CEOs of the business community. I'm going to say a few formal words, but I want to respond a bit to the very good guidance from the CEOs, because that's the spirit of this forum. The first is I want to reiterate my deep personal appreciation to you, Prime Minister, for your hospitality, your leadership, your engagement, and your example. And I give the point, we were talking about this earlier today, the importance, and I'm picking up at the end of your remarks, which is it is very important in steering governments and countries to have agreements such as we have today, MOUs, letters of intent, intentions to have the CEPA Accord signed by the end of this year. That's absolutely important. What is even more important is the execution following those agreements and making sure that they're implemented, and then, of course, that stakeholders in the private sector, in philanthropy, third sectors, researchers, our universities can move forward. And the example of you, Prime Minister, in ensuring implementation, doing the work, following up, making sure that this happens. And I want to underscore that that's what today is about. It's the scale of the partnership, but it is the commitment to implement all aspects of the partnership. And because of those of you in the room who you represent, and those of you not in the room, in the business sector, other stakeholders, large and small, to have the enthusiasm and the direction from this partnership. Much more will be done. So we're determined to make it easier to do business between our countries. The visa example is one example which we're taking back into Canada to work on and to make sure. We're committed to more than double our trade by 2030. But our ambition stretches well beyond that. It does stretch to investment, long-term investment, infrastructure investment here and in both our countries. It extends to financial innovation, and I'm glad, picking up on something that you discussed this morning and is embedded in our agreements, financial innovation, financial payments innovation led by India, UPI, applications in Canada, cross-border, and the linkages between our economies as a consequence. Huge potential for cooperation in energy. And let's learn from the example of Cameco. Tim, congratulations again. Again, following up and making a point that we can't stress enough about Canada being a reliable supplier of energy, a reliable supplier of critical minerals. There's a huge growth opportunity, of course, in uranium, huge growth opportunity in nuclear generation between our countries, but the broad gamut of critical minerals and moving forward on that to advance our clean energy ambitions, to advance applications in mobility, defense, and others. I would underscore, perhaps, for our friends on our friends from the Confederation in India, Indian business side. You're busy. You're busy because there's a lot going on in India. I just want to underscore how much is going on in Canada, how much has changed in Canada. And just quickly, in less than a year, we've cut taxes on incomes, on capital gains, and on new home purchases. We have now a business tax rate that is on business investment that is half the G7 average, and is 4.5 percentage points below the rate in the United States. We have cut regulation and red tape for major projects such that we will have all the agreements. Premier of Saskatchewan is here. As you know, from the federal level, at the provincial level, other levels, all the approvals for major projects within a 2-year time horizon, so you can plan and then invest. We have the strongest balance sheet in the G7, and we will use it effectively and judiciously and prudently, I say, in the presence of the Minister of Finance. And even before our CEPA is finished, we have free trade agreements with 51 nations covering 1.5 billion people around the world. So don't think of us as 41 million consumers, think of us as access to that. Of course, the most important 1.5 billion are in your hands, Minister, if I may say. So an energy superpower, a technology superpower, in the presence of our Minister of Defense, a country determined to protect our citizens, to work with our allies. That translates into $500 billion of defense-related investment over the course of the next decade with our partners. And you referenced a number of the areas which include aerospace. It does include other aspects of AI, cyber. The Prime Minister and I discussed this. AI, cyber, space as well. And it includes being strategic with our partners on the development of critical minerals. So many areas where we are complementary to each other's strengths, and the potential for this partnership is extraordinary. Those of you in this room will help us ensure that we realize that potential, and the example of realizing in the near term is going to build much more for the longer term. Last thing to say is that India looks down the road to 2047. The momentum is here. The prospects are achieving quintupling effectively of the economy by that point, but in a way that delivers inclusive growth, prosperity for all, is an example for us in Canada. We look to the next decade as being a transformative decade for our country. We cannot do it alone. We can do it with you. So I thank you for your presence. I look forward to hosting Goldie under your control, if you'll allow me to come. Yes, there he is. Let me know when the CEOs are coming to Canada, and I look forward to extending a small amount of the hospitality we've received there. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.